It's the SFL nights it's the SFL nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker.
And Monte Carlos and Eldorados. I'm waking up out of my slumber feeling like Rollo, so follow. It's showtime at the Apollo minus the Kiki Shepherds. With about a with a leopard print. Teddy, Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm. Left my throat warm in the dorm room at the AU. We blew hay to athletes might cake you, but you must have me mistaken with them statements that you make,
Sorry, I had to listen to that classic. What is up, SFL Nation? So welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. Man, we had some fantastic games that happened this past week, from the All-Star game to week 9 action for the SFLm, wrapping up the entire season. Then we had the semifinals. A lot of stuff to cover. Plus, I also have my rookie shout-outs like I normally do. It's going to be a little bit different this week. Talking about, again, the week 9 review for what happened with the SFLm. Then we're going to be going over to my SFLm semifinals 4th and goal interviews featuring one member from all 4 participating teams, including LaQuan Smith from Memphis, Charlie Baker from Madison, Stewart Zomelia from the Annapolis Navigators, I love to call them Navies, and Scott Powell from the Lexington Miners. So this is going to be a great show. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So here is how all the action went down this week. The Rustlers took on, the Salt Lake City Rustlers took on the Lexington Miners, where the Lexington Miners won 29-13. The Rustlers had 169 yards passing, 84 yards rushing for 253 yards total. Their time in possession was 21 minutes, 57 seconds with 3 turnovers. Lexington had 270 yards passing, 93 yards rushing for 363 yards total. Their time in possession was 21 minutes and 7 seconds with 3 mistakes. Player of the game was wide receiver David Gears. 6 receptions, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 26 yards per catch. The Boise Mud Dogs took on the San Jose Flight, where the Flight won 13-0. Boise had 166 yards passing, 82 yards rushing for 248 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes, 58 seconds with 3 mistakes. The Flight had 120 yards passing, 89 yards rushing for 209 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes, 41 seconds with no mistakes. Player of the game was outside linebacker Aaron Gooden. He had 20 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass deflection. Aaron, 20 tackles? You all over the field like Palomalo. You had to be to get 20 tackles. Congratulations, man. I see somebody's going first round. And the Ottawa Cavalry took on the Tacoma Grizzlies, where the Grizzlies won 30-10. The Cavalry had 316 yards passing, 26 yards rushing for 342 yards total. Their time in possession was 20 minutes, 43 seconds with 2 turnovers. The Grizzlies had 280 yards passing, 139 yards rushing for 419 yards total. Their time in possession was 23 minutes and 2 seconds with only 1 mistake. Player of the game was wide receiver Mike Savage. 10 receptions, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and averaged 20 yards per catch. I'm sorry, 20.6. I'm giving you 0.6 yards per catch. And then the Annapolis Navigators took on the Madison Lynx, where the Lynx won 24-16. The Navies had 135 yards passing, 196 yards rushing, 331 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes and 43 seconds with 4 mistakes. The Lynx had 211 yards passing, 58 yards rushing for 269 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes, 31 seconds with 2 turnovers. Player of the game was cornerback Enzo Bolt with 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 4 tackles, and 2 pass deflections. Look like somebody else is going first round, huh? 2 interceptions, 1 and 1 is a pick 6 too. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. So the semifinals round came down to the Lexington Miners taking on the Annapolis Navigators and the Memphis River Runners taking on the Madison Lynx. Now, the Lexington Miners was number 3 and the Annapolis Navigators was number 2 seeded team. And they battled each other where the Miners won in an exciting game. It was tied right up until the end where there was a pick thrown by the Navies that I know put the dagger in the coffin. They lined up, the Lexington Miners lined up to kick the field goal to take home the win. 29-26. Lexington had 241 yards passing, 118 yards rushing for 359 yards total. Time of possession was 20 minutes, 54 seconds with 5 turnovers. The Navies had 225 yards passing, 103 yards rushing for 328 yards total. Their time possession was 23 minutes, 6 seconds with 3 turnovers. Player of the game was wide receiver Zachary Patton with 7 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, and averaged 16.6 yards per reception. Now, the number 4 team, Memphis River Runners, took on the number 1 team, the Madison Lynx. And Madison won 24-17. Also another great game. Memphis was winning pretty much the entire game until the Madison Lynx, I guess, put it in hyperdrive and didn't look back. And thus the 17-point game. Memphis had 256 yards passing, 34 yards rushing for 290 yards total. Time of possession was 20 minutes, 28 seconds with 5 turnovers. Madison had 212 yards passing, 33 yards rushing for 247 yards total. The time of possession was 23 minutes and 32 seconds with 1 mistake. Player of the game was Xander Moon. 28 completions out of 38 attempts, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, and a quarterback rating of 84.5. Memphis had a lot of turnovers, 5 turnovers to 1. Rushing pretty much the same. Time of possession was relatively close. It was just those 5 turnovers that kind of did them in. So this means that on Wednesday, December the 29th, on the Simulation Football League's YouTube channel at 7 p.m., the 4th SFLm Championship will be played, where the Lexington Miners will be taking on the number 1 seed Madison Lynx. And Lexington, just to remind everybody, is the number 3. So the number 3 seed will be taking on the number 1 seed in this matchup. And 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves a champion. And do me a favor, in the chat, tell me who do you think is going to win between the Lexington Miners and the Madison Lynx. And if you're not watching this as it's going, then let me know in the comments and I'll see exactly who is going to be right next show. All right. Now, the East took on the West in our All-Star game for the majors, and the East won 24-6. The West had 189 yards passing with only 18 yards rushing with 207 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes, 2 seconds, 4 turnovers. The East had 173 yards passing, 76 yards rushing for 249 yards total. Time of possession was 21 minutes and 58 seconds with 3 mistakes. And it looks like with this game, unfortunately, I was not able to watch this. I was still in training at my new job, but looking at these scores and how these yardages are adding up, it just looks like the East had better game planning, made one less mistake, but they were pretty much similar in time of possession. But I think what did the men was the rushing game. And obviously both defenses did their thing in order to even hold these all-star quarterbacks to 189 yards total and 173 yards total. So, and then 18 yards rushing. Defenses were doing their thing, you know. So either way, great game. Player of the game, all-star game, was wide receiver for Atlanta, Boo Chisholm, with 2 receptions, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns, 25 yards per catch. Now, I told you my rookie shout-outs are going to be a little bit different. And this actually goes out to all the members of the season 18 rookie class. I was watching most of your games. Guys put on a fantastic, guys and girls, put on a fantastic performance coming through in the clutch in a lot of games, showing how you progressed in the right ways on the field. Some of you were mentioned by me a lot of times during my rookie shout outs during the course of the SFLm season. Some of you heard your name during the player of the games and a lot during the broadcast. So kudos to all you do. Kudos to all the rookies that just jumped in, whether it was doing stats, whether it was beat writing, whether it was doing broadcasting, anything that you did to improve your draft stock, even if it was helping the team do graphics. Thanks. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. And the draft is on the 30th and it ends on January the 2nd. So good luck to all of you rookies out there. I hope all of you find a home. If you don't, do not be discouraged. Come back to the SFLm, improve your player, have fun, and just enjoy the ride, okay? I cannot wait to see where you land. And next up, I have my semifinals rookie nights interviews. And it's interesting to see, because these games have already taken place, where their minds were before these games took place. So enjoy. What is up, SFL Nation? And I am back with my 4th and Goal interview featuring Madison Lynx wide receiver, Mr. Charlie Baker. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
That is fantastic to hear. I know you were excited, sir.
I kind of am, but I'm nervous at the same time. So I'll be a bit relaxed.
Yeah, no worries, and you will. It's just like having a nice conversation with a friend, dear. Not gonna bite you. You already know what I'm gonna ask, so all we gotta do is just take a deep breath in and relax. All good. And your team, Madison Lynx, finished number 1 in the SFLm. That has got to be a good feeling.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Y'all solidified it at that win last night. Well, your seeding last night. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Charlie, tell us about yourself. What is your name? If you want to give us your real name, that's fine. Your age, your hometown, interesting fact about yourself, and your favorite NFL team.
Well, my real name is Damian Diaz, and my hometown is, I'm from a town called Brownwood, Texas.
Okay. Gotcha.
and it's up north from where I'm currently living. As for my favorite football team, it's the Houston Texans.
Okay.
They're kind of not doing great at the moment, but I'm still going to be a fan of them.
You have to. You have to be a ride or die with your team. You're from Texas, so
Yes.
you know when it's your home team, no matter how bad they are, or much areas of opportunity they need for improvement, I should say.
Yes.
you know, you gotta be still support them. I'm a Falcons fan, and I am a Bears fan by marriage, so I've been there. Trust me.
Yeah.
So, what's some interesting facts about yourself?
I don't have much to say on that, but I do I'm a gamer at heart, so I do play a lot of video games on my free time, and that's pretty much.
Hey, that's pretty cool with me. So, which games do you like? I'm like a Red Dead Redemption, GTA kind of person.
I like role-playing games, so like Mass Effect and Fallout and all those genres, like Dragon Age as well.
Gotcha. Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing too?
Yeah.
Nice. We actually have a lot of people in the SFL that like to play Dungeons and Dragons, Lord. But I probably will get into that one day. Have you ever played sports before?
When I was younger in junior high and high school.
What did you play?
Basketball and football for like a short period of time.
Mm-hmm. Were you any good?
I would say I was better in basketball than I was in football.
Okay.
Because I didn't get to play as much as I did football than the other sport.
I gotcha. So what position did you play when you were playing basketball and football?
I was a linebacker for my time in football, and a power forward.
Really? Okay. So turn this down. Okay. So tell me, how did you find the SFL?
I found the SFL through the night notification.
Awesome.
Because they had gotten that league, or I was introduced to that league by them.
Awesome. Justice has been bringing a whole lot of people over here.
Yes.
He should get like a retainer fee or something. Not retainer. He gets like a what is it called? Referral fee for all of the people that he just brought over here. That's dope. Justice is a really good man. He's good. So
yes, he is.
Do you remember the very first game that you watched for the SFL and how it affected you?
The first game I watched was one of the Madison Lynx games, because it was when I first got signed.
Okay. How easy was that process when you got signed? Like from you deciding that you wanted to be on in the SFL to you actually joining the Discord? Like how easy was that process for you?
It was pretty easy because I did all that stuff that was necessary to sign in with the server and become part of the group.
Okay. Gotcha. So how did it feel when you finally realized, when you woke up and you saw yourself in that Madison Lynx locker room? And what are they like, by the way? What is Madison Lynx locker room like?
They were a very hyped group of people, and it's fun being around them.
Nice. And how did you feel when you woke up and you saw that you were in that locker room?
I felt pretty good. It's a group of people, and They
Nice.
do have a sense of camaraderie with them, and I like that.
That's very important in any team sport. You know, whether even not even necessarily just about sports per se, but anytime you're working with a group of people, team, work related, you have to get along with those people because you're going to be spending a lot of
Yes.
time with those individuals. So
Yeah.
you guys can get along
Yes.
and things like that. It makes a difference, you know.
Yes.
So why did you choose to be a wide receiver? Was that the only position that was available to you, or did you really want to be a wide receiver? Because I know you were a linebacker when you were in school.
Yeah, wide receiver was mainly because it was the first thing that popped into my head,
Okay.
and I do like that position. That's because it looks like it's the more interesting position you can have when you're playing football. That's how I got Charlie's build, mainly because of like Julian Edelman, Steve Largent.
Awesome. Great examples to build your player around. Are you solely responsible for your own progressions, or are your coaches helping you with that?
My coaches are helping me with that,
Okay.
but I've dabbled with doing one of my own a progression at least once, but it's mainly just been the coaches.
That's good. You know, it's good to kind of listen to the coaches and see, because they will ultimately guide you on how to make your player perform the best of his or her ability.
Yes.
You can definitely go and do your own thing as long as you know what you're doing, you know, and
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask for help either. But I do see now, unfortunately, the stats are not up from the last game, from yesterday's game on the 17th. But I do see the game that you guys played prior to that, and you had 5 receptions for 62 yards and 1 touchdown, 24 long. So you have been making some splashes. As a matter of fact, I have been calling your name quite a bit for my rookie shout-outs.
Yeah.
That I do. So, hey.
That I appreciate that, because there are some games where I see I do get limited exposure.
True.
But it's mainly it is a team sport, so I gotta let the other guy shine at times.
Mm-hmm. And you will notice that. But when that ball comes your way, you better make sure you don't drop it. No oil on your hands. Don't be sitting over there eating up barbecue and then it just slip through your fingers when you get ready to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So tell me, do you want to participate in the league in any other aspect besides being a player? Do you want to maybe do some broadcasting or some stats? Maybe do some scouting for a team one day?
That would be cool. I think I just want to start off by being a player for a little while.
Okay.
Maybe when I get further on down and I've gotten more used to being in the SFL,
Mm-hmm.
we'll try to do stuff like scouting and maybe potentially being a GM.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with it. You should enjoy your time. When you start adding the responsibilities of things, then that does take away a little bit from you sitting back and being able to relax and just watch your performance, watch your team's performance on the field, because you're looking for other little things like that. But enjoy your time, you know. And
Yes.
So how would you rate your team's overall season as so far?
I would have to say it's not, I wouldn't say like perfect, but we're doing well enough to get to where we are. The defense plays awesome every game.
Indeed. And you're number one.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. You're getting ready to say something else?
I'm good. You can go.
All right, sounds good. So, what are the expectations from the team that will ultimately draft you, Charles?
I really don't have any expectations from the team that drafts me. I'm gonna be a team player, so I don't really want to like be a prima donna when it comes to that.
Okay.
Like me first string guy. I know but there are going to be stronger people in my position.
True.
So whatever spot I land in, I'll just do what I can.
And that's all you can do, dear. That's all you can do. Keep up your progressions. If you are noticing certain behaviors in your player that you want to address, feel free to talk to your coaches and let them know, like, hey, I want to get faster because I keep getting burnt on this route. Or I need to probably work on my secure ball because I am dropping it once I get hit. Little things like that. It helps if you kind of know what you're looking for. What kind of personality do you plan to bring to someone's locker room, though? That's important.
I'm a mellow kind of person, but at times I can be overly competitive. So I'm gonna try and I'm not gonna be let's just say overzealous with how I carry myself.
Okay.
Like I'm always like, I don't want to be the Terrell Owens, like throw me the ball every game. Let me show y'all what I can do.
That's a good example. I was thinking about Odell Beckham, but that's a good example too. So, Charlie, one of my last questions to you is, what is one goal that you would like to see accomplished from an SFL wise and in your real life by this time next year, by the end of the year next year?
Well, I have to hope that with what's currently going on, that I can say that Charlie's on a winning team.
Yeah.
Like with the playoffs coming up, I'm hoping we can get to the finals.
Okay. Gotcha. And then what about in your real life?
Win that.
Exactly. Everybody want a ring. Hey, you might
Yes.
mess around and get one before you even join the majors. That'd be nice.
Yes.
So what about your real life? What do you want to accomplish? What's one goal that you want to accomplish in your real life?
That's a really hard question, because right now with my real life, I'm just living with my parents and relatives here, and I can't really find a job with a disability I have currently. So it makes it extremely tough to do that sort of thing.
Okay. Understood, dear. But I'm sure that there's other avenues and other things that you can do. You can probably look into getting into school, maybe trying to study something like even you could probably do things from home, like remote sales, or maybe inputting, like data input. All you'd have to do is just take information from one file or something and input it into another. There are other things that you can do, despite having the disability, things like that. It's just about knowing where to look and knowing who to talk to. And after we get off the line, I can maybe make some suggestions for you too, okay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. But I wish you the best in everything that you do, Charlie. I know you're doing well. And another question too, is how are you handling this COVID situation? You know, like being on lockdown for almost 2 years, and then everything opening back up, and then now they're talking about, it might shut down again. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, at first, whenever it started, I was heavily on the fence about getting vaccinated. But after almost a year, I finally did go and get the shots. But because right now I live in Edinburgh, Texas, and that's like a really heavily populated area. But I would stay safe. I would wear the mask, and when we would go out shopping and all that, and I wouldn't touch people. I didn't need to, like, physically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard. It's difficult doing things that you would normally do. Like, I'm a hugger. I like to hug. I always have. That's just been a part of my personality.
Yeah.
And then when this happened, like, now I can't hug you. Like, I can't have the physical touch of that can do something to your psyche if you allow it to. But it's all about understanding what's going on, and then hoping and praying that things get better for us, and then hopefully people are doing what they're supposed to do. Whether if you get the shot, okay. If you don't, wear your mask, make sure you're staying protected, things like that. And we just all got to try to make sure we get it together and get rid of this together, because we got to understand that we're all connected. And if we can solve these problems, then I think all of us as humans be able to handle a lot more different situations than we currently are. It's just seems like everything is just so divisive now.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. Charlie, it was a pleasure talking to you, dear. And I was wondering if you had any you got any questions for me, dear? Like any questions? I'm a GM. I've been in the league for 5 seasons. I can help you with anything, to the best of my ability.
It's more of a APF thing, but I just, like you were talking about that game yesterday, I was watching it, and like, I don't know how many catches I got, but every single drive, it would just be there, like, every single drive, it was mainly Powell, Ellis, or McClenny, the generic. I think that's who he is.
Okay. So Scott Powell, Adrian Willis, and McLean
were getting the most of the looks from. And while I did get a few catches here and there, or I don't know how many I did get looked at, but
APS
being a first stringer, I can't help it but feel like I'm being underused at times.
I get your frustration. some plays are built in the system to go to certain receivers. Usually the higher tiered receivers will be looked at first. And this is just from the mechanics of the game, from my understanding. So if I'm a gold quarterback, right? If I have a gold or a silver receiver, the CPU is going to go to those persons first, or whoever has the higher value first, if they're open. If they're not open, then it will be the bronze, it will be the copper. And then it could be a situation to where sometimes APF is, you will see me sometimes say hashtag because APF. Sometimes All Pro Football does whatever it wants to do. You can put in whatever plays you want, and it's still going to call what it want to call. Like, for instance, I was on Tulsa when I first started, right? And Dion put the 2-minute drill inside of one of his plays. Problem was, it was calling the 2-minute drill like in the 7th minute of the first quarter, and we were like, why am I doing a 2-minute drill and it's not the 2-minute drill? It's not 2 minutes. So that could be something that simple. It could be something so simple as what play was entered in the computer for you by your coaches. But in all, you will have those moments where you will shine, and then you'll have those moments where you'll be a little quiet. I have seen weeks where you definitely shine with getting 1 and 2 touchdowns, and you may not get a lot of looks.
The game where I had 100 yards.
Yes. And then you may get a lot of looks.
I don't think I got any touchdowns that game, but that 106 yards really helped.
Exactly. And that's the reason why I mentioned it on the rookie shoutouts, because while you didn't get the player of the game, or while you didn't get the touchdown, that is still a lot of yards for somebody to put up for only being targeted maybe 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
So you'll have those moments where you shine, dear. You have those moments where you're going to be a little bit quiet. But as the more progressions you do, the better your player will get, and then the more the CPU will recognize you and be able to get to those looks you're looking for. Okay?
Yeah.
Stick with it. You got it.
Yeah, I'm grinding.
Yes, indeed you are. Indeed you are, Mr. Number 1. Did you have any more questions for me, dear?
That was all.
Okay. Well, you are very welcome. And whenever you want to come back, even if after the draft you want to come back and let us know how you're doing, things of that nature, I'd love to have you back. How excited are you for the draft?
I have to be, of course, pretty excited for it, because if I do have the chance of maybe getting drafted or not getting drafted, it's going to be a toss-up, pretty much. And I can't be down exactly.
No.
For that, because it's a draft.
Exactly. And it's 4 rounds, the draft. So if you didn't get picked up at the first and second, don't be discouraged, because there's still chances. And even if you don't, it's not a big deal. Just go right back to the SFLm and work on making your player better each week, versus maybe skipping a few weeks when you hit the majors. So that's what Randy Squarebush did. Randy didn't get selected the very first time, and so he went back for 3 seasons, and look at him now. He's one of the dominating performers in the SFLm because he was able to go back and progress his player. So I don't want you or anybody else to get discouraged that's listening to me right now, because you still have that opportunity to make your player better, so you won't be overlooked, or there will not be a team that would not want you, because especially the way your performance is on the field, what type of person you are when you come on these shows and you kind of express your personality and people can hear your voice. And then when you go and you talk to them, that's just the icing on the cake. So that it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to feel real, and they're going to have the live look-ins for rookies. So if you have your camera connected and you get drafted, you can actually shoot over to your camera and then see your excitement and things like that. So you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie. Well, my dear, you are very welcome. I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be just a simple shout out. But right now, Charlie, the floor is yours.
I'd like to give a shout out to the people in the Nighthawk Nation, like Nighthawks and the Crow 07, those and 6 Mach. They're pretty influential in my life right now, and I appreciate everything they've been doing for me.
Yeah, I see you over there. I see you very active over there. You and Tazzy, all y'all. I see y'all over there all the time. 6 Machiavelli, I see all of y'all. So listen, have fun. Thank you so much for being on, Damien. And I look forward to seeing what you and Madison is going to do on the field this weekend, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, SFL Nation, I am back with my second interview for the evening, and I have here Mr. LaQuan Smith. He is the cornerback of the Memphis River Runners, who just made the semifinals too. How are you?
I am doing great, Ashley. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, knowing your busy schedule.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome, dear. So, how are you feeling about the job that your team, the Memphis River Runners, has done to make it to this point?
For us to even make it to this point, I am amazed, shocked, and blessed to actually be here in this playoffs.
Okay, listen, that's a blessing in itself. And then you walk away with a ring. You just start. Listen.
Well, this is going into my second season with the Memphis Runners, so
it's time.
Going to the draft with a ring. That's put a whole bunch of eyes on me, a whole bunch of eyes on my team, my teammates.
Indeed. Well, let's shine some more light on you. So who are you? What is your name, your age? Some interesting facts about yourself and your favorite NFL team.
Well, my name is not LaQuan, obviously. My name is Antoine Smith. The last part of the name is true. I am from Jackson, Mississippi. I am purely a Southern boy at heart. Favorite football team, New Orleans Saints.
Oh.
Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. I see that face. Why you made that face?
Because I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. You know why?
I know it. Oh. So there's someone else on our team, LaCroix 07, Caesar Ackerman, also a Falcons fan.
Yes.
The amount of grief and trouble I give him just because he's a Falcons fan is troubling, because the only team that Atlanta actually has is, your Braves. Come on. Let's be true.
Hold on. We have the 5 stripes, okay? We have our soccer team that did fantastically well. So there's that.
Okay, but that's soccer. I'm talking about baseball, football, all of that. Soccer, that's foreign to me.
Okay, that's only the most popular sport across the entire world.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I'm here in Mississippi. I'm Southern. I don't see most of the other world like that, except for Germany. I actually been to Germany before, twice.
Really?
Yes.
What was that like?
Very fun. Yeah, I have vivid memories because I am I'm a child, but now I'm a child because my father, he was stationed overseas. He lived in Germany for about like 3-4 years, and he had a child there, my sister, young sister. So when she was a baby, me and my mom flew to Germany and met his family there, who he married. And I met my sister, my baby sister.
Wow. So what was that experience like for you?
I was young, very young, and I know this is new to me. It's a different experience. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. Way different from what I seen in like this small town in somewhere in Mississippi.
Right. Well, that's dope. That's dope. And then you have an interesting fact you want to give us?
That was pretty much an interesting fact.
It was interesting. I loved it. I loved it. Tell me, how did you even find the SFL in the first place?
I found the SFL by Nighthawk 24, aka Justice Blackwell of the Florida Storm. You probably might hear this a lot from most of the other members of the Nighthawk Nation. Through him, I came to the SFL, seeing what the organization is about, and decided to join.
Okay, I like that. Do you remember the very first game that you ever watched and how it made you feel?
I think I don't remember the very first game, but I went back and I want to say watch past clips of season 15, I want to say. I can't really recall the details of it, but because my mind is everywhere.
No, it's all right. But it had to have been something about that moment that made you be like, you know what? That might just be the place for me. Was it just?
It was, me personally, it would probably be the spur of the moment because it was something new. Instead of just being in the same community of wrestling. I'm like, okay, it's fantasy football simulation league, and I never participated in a fantasy football league before, so that was something new to me.
Okay, I love it. Have you ever played sports before?
No. I was the person in the band. I'm a band person.
Really? I was in the
Yes.
band too, since from 4th grade all the way up into 12th grade. So what did you play?
I was in the band since 6th grade to 12, and I played trumpet.
Beautiful. I played the flute. My father played the trumpet, and I believe that's where I got my inspiration from. Because he loved music too, but he told me in high school that he played it, and I was like, okay, well maybe I should pick up something, and that just naturally spoke to me. So kudos to you. I love music.
Love it too. Did like marching most of the time. That was okay for the most part. except for when the spring, when they get a little bit too hot and your marching uniform is a little bit too hot.
Yes.
And you marching along that hot concrete, something down on those long roads, having to stop, still having to play different songs and different sets and dancing for most of the part. Yeah, no, I do not miss that.
Going up those hills.
I never had to. The only hill I probably had to go to is probably when we had to participate in other parades,
Yes.
and there's other towns that's is in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi as well, where we had to march through the long dusty hills. Yes,
Work out for you, I tell you.
it is.
So Memphis has done a fantastic job of sliding in at number 4 seed. What are your thoughts on this particular season? Because you mentioned that you've been on Memphis for a couple of seasons now. What are your thoughts on this particular season?
This particular season, I felt like we had a plan. We came together after Hubbard left. Jay Hayden came in. He was our defensive, but he came in as our whole coach after Hubbard gave him the reins of it. And I felt like with his coaching, his progression, his plans just made us set a clear course of what we need to do to better ourselves for this play out, basically for the whole season, this whole season. And for me personally, I felt like he gave me a much better, he worked with me to progress better as a player, to perform my best and to help my team get to where we are now. Despite us being the 4th seed or not, I felt like Memphis did one hell of a job getting to this place.
Absolutely, you sure did. And from whether it's from the come behind victory, like Boise almost did, like they would have won a couple more games, they would have been here. Even when you don't expect them, I think that makes things a lot sweeter. And then Jay Hayden is a good dude, so I already know you were in good hands as soon as I heard that he had took over. I knew those guys are going to be just fine. That's why we added him to the Scorpions. He's an amazing person, and
he is an amazing person, street hard and very, very motivational.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the reason why y'all where you at, and congratulations for that. Now cornerback, was cornerback your first choice, or was that the
cornerback? Was my first choice. I actually wanted to play defense instead of offense.
Okay.
This is probably, I won't say new for people to hear, but yes, I like defense better than offense, because a strong defense makes it so no offense can make it past anybody.
Indeed. And
hold this line, nobody can pass through it.
Absolutely. And then y'all can score too. I mean, some weekends win championships. So I definitely understand it, and I can definitely agree with you on that. I'm going to put you on a brief hold right quick. Give me 1 second, Lovey.
All right.
All right, good stuff. So, if someone wanted to pick you up at a different position, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to maybe go into, I don't know, strong safety or something like that? Or are you kind of set?
I'm stubborn in a way, but I am willing to accept a different position if it's to help out the team that's wanting to draft me or cast me into that position.
That's understandable, because ultimately you're the one that's paying this money and you want to be happy with the position that you've chosen. And if you took the time out to pick a particular position, you had that's what you wanted. So there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I am interested. I really want to play this. I'll do this for you, but understand that this was the position I chose and this is what I prefer to play. You'll be fine, because you want to be happy and you paying your money like everybody else. And if you wanted to be a quarterback and you want to be drafted for something else and you're not happy, then you're gonna leave, which is not what we want. Do you want to participate in the league in any other aspect besides being a player? Like, do you want to write for stats or write for the writing team or anything?
I would like to do sets. I'm not too much of a normal guy, but I'm am ready to learn how to do sets. Writing is pretty much easy for me. That's kind of like second nature, and I would love to like write articles, papers, all of that. Network.
Okay.
I like networking too. So
Wonderful. That's actually a good note. So for anybody that's the beat team is always looking for people that are willing to put out articles, creative content, things of that nature. So I'll give you that information too when we get off. Okay.
all right.
All right. And how do you plan to? Well, first of all, you like the way your player is performing.
Right.
Do you see any areas of opportunity that you would like to work on? And if so, what are those?
I'm still working on my coverage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And be able to tackle more. There's other cornerbacks in the league that actually got a few more tackles than me here in the minors. Despite my status as being the highest value corner in a minor league, I don't feel like that at times. And I don't brag that I'm the number one cornerback in the minors, because I don't feel like I deserve that or earned it. I did what I did to progress how I felt like my players should progress to the best of my capabilities. And I think I performed well from my performances and from how my player is currently right now.
Okay, I like that. And I was telling Charlie, because he was kind of thinking of like wondering how APF works when it comes to choosing certain players to give the ball to, things of that nature. Sometimes you cannot control that. APF has its own brain sometimes, and if you are, I was explaining to him this, like if you're a gold quarterback and you throw it to a gold wide receiver or a silver wide receiver, it's like the computer is telling them that these are the two best players on the team.
Right.
And if they're not open though, then that's when you throw it to the other one. So just because you don't have a consistent game flow where you're getting like 17, 18 tackles. I think somebody had that last week. I think it was Gooden. He had like freaking 18 tackles.
Yeah.
And so those moments happen. But then you have those moments like I noticed, I'm looking at yours, not from last night, but from the week prior, and you had a 1 tackle and 2 assists, and you had 2 pass deflections. Depending on when that happened, those 2 pass deflections would have came in handy. Like if it's, hey, we at the goal line, they're getting ready to score, and then you knock it down, do you realize how much of a hero you would be to that team?
Yes, that's one season. This season, I've been knocking a dollar pass down a lot, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah. So you're just gonna get better and better and better. That's all you're gonna do.
Exactly.
And what are your expectations from the team that will ultimately draft you?
My expectation is that I'm going in with no expectation, because they are drafting me. They have expectations of whoever they draft would be a good asset to their team. Am I good enough to be part of either CB 2, 3, whatever position that they draft me for? Am I going to fill out that role for them to play for them like at their best, or to help build up their team, improve their team overall, probably go to a playoffs or the championship, get all of that. That's the expectation that I see myself giving myself for the draft.
Okay. How excited are you for the draft?
Very, because we go into a new year and the draft is right there at the end of the year. At the end, I'm done with 2021. I am so done, and this draft would be the icing on the cake of 2021 going to 2022 being drafted. Hopefully, I'll be drafted. I feel like I'm going to be drafted. I feel like it.
Well, I mean, you number one quarterback. Somebody looking at you. I'm telling you.
Somebody looking at me. I got a few people I talk to. Some teams I haven't contacted yet. Some teams are kind of hard to get in contact to, but I still send out that message to the ones I did contact it and haven't got back to me yet. But it's there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, the funny thing about the draft itself is that you can have a plan to draft a specific player.
Right.
For instance, perfect example was with me and Atlanta. I had talked to Mark and he was planning to draft me, but Tulsa stepped in and was like, "No, that's our quarterback." So we can make a plan to draft you, but if somebody that's ahead of us scoops you up, then we have to go back to the drawing board and talk to everybody else. This is why you probably notice that we have conversations with multiple people within that particular category because we don't know if you're going to stay.
Exactly.
So, that said, tell me what type of locker room presence or personality will you be bringing into someone's locker room?
I am. I'm gonna say laid back. I'm quiet, as you probably seen before. I'm talkative when I get excited. If something happening, if I want to get buzz, if somebody is down, or try to uplift them. Other than that, I'm looking, I'm observing, I'm learning about my teammates, what they do, what my coaches do, all of that, and I'm trying to get to know everybody and see how they work, how they tick, and pretty much try to be on everybody's good side and just be there, be fun, be happy, be productive.
You definitely need that, especially when those moments of adversity come up and, you know, your team may not be doing as good as you thought that it would be doing, or calls didn't go your way. You're going to need somebody to help uplift those spirits. And I can definitely see that role in you. Name one goal that you want to have accomplished by this time next year in both SFL and in real life.
Just happy life where my mom can see me just succeed. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Gotcha. All right then, and one more question for you. What is the Memphis locker room like?
Fun, exciting, and of course Jay is there, so he keeps us motivated. He pretty much gives speeches almost every day to just keep us motivated, keep us happy, keep us in spirit. Even in losses, he still to uplift us, and I love Israel, Caesar, Saeed, GP, of course, one of the 4 horsemen.
You know, I want to get GP Wells on here too one day.
You want to get GP? I'm gonna tell him. Go hit up Ashley.
But yeah, you got a lot of good group. So it's a good group. Actually, I will say this is a really good group of rookies for season 18. All of you guys have been super excited, been willing to just jump in and help in multiple areas of the league, and kudos to this whole squad for all of y'all.
most of us been there for 2 to 3 seasons. GP been there the longest, and I want him to get drafted. I want him to get drafted so badly.
Hey, you never know what the cards may hold. You never know. But listen, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting you. And you're definitely welcome to come back whenever you want to. Two things before I let you go. Do you have any questions for me?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I do. One question. How does it feel for me to actually give an interview after all this time, after covering you for the first time? I don't know if you remember, but I denied you an interview my first season because I am shy in a sense, and I just like did not want to be interviewed by nobody.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I get that because it takes a lot to come up and then just have a conversation with somebody, period, one thing. But when you're being recorded, sometimes that does something to you, and it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
My thing is this: you can't, with me at least, you can't say the wrong thing. You're just saying what's on your mind, and I understand nerves. I understand being kind of apprehensive because you just don't know how that goes, but I try my best to make everything as comfortable as possible. Even if you want to know the questions before, I don't mind sending them to you. Or if you want to kind of listen to music like what we were doing before we even started, kind of just, relax before, it's all good. Mm-hmm. And I did not get mad at you for that. I did not. I'm wait till you're ready. And I'm glad that you're ready.
I'm ready this time. So I'm here now on cameras. All of it. So
indeed. And I appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Well, that ends everything. So I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be just a simple shout out. But right now, LaQuan, the floor is yours.
Well, right now, all I got to say is I thank the Memphis River Runners for allowing me to be on their team, for essentially being there for 2 seasons and maybe a third one, maybe. I don't know. I might get drafted, I might not. But my time in the SFL has been great. I met a whole bunch of lovely people there, and hopefully I continue to grow, be a productive member of the SFL, and show that I'm here to say, and of course I came from the Nighthawk Nation, so I gotta shout out Nighthawk 24, his Twitch, his community. He brought a whole bunch of people over here like me to the SFL, so I gotta give props to Justice Blackwell for bringing me over. And that's it.
Sounds good to me. Justice is a great guy. I told him that he should get a referral fee because he done brought like 14 people over here.
He'd have brought some people over here and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I got to meet you and other people of the SFL.
Mm-hmm. And we're all a family here.
We are.
Absolutely. All right, LaQuan, you come back and see me whenever you want to. You always have a spot on my show, and I can't wait to see where you go in the draft. All right, love?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one, honey.
You too, ma'am.
All right. Bye.
All right.
All right, SFL Nation, and welcome back to my next interview. I have here with me Mr. Scott Powell. He is the cornerback of the Lexington Miners, who's also made the semifinals. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. How excited are you?
I'm pretty excited. I'm very excited, actually.
Awesome. So let's get to know a little bit about you, Scott. So, of course, I would like to know your real name, but if you don't, If you don't want to give that, that's totally fine. But your age, your hometown, an interesting fact about yourself. And it looks like I already know who your favorite NFL team is.
Oh yeah, always. But yeah, my real name is Scott Powell, and I'm from Coffeeville, Kansas.
Okay.
And an interesting fact about me is probably I'm a sports fanatic. I'm in love with all sports.
Really? So do you play sports?
No, I've always been kind of the spectator type, always into like the stats and everything. And yeah.
I nothing wrong with that. Listen, it's safer.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So how did you find out about the SFL in the first place?
So around like 2020, when COVID really started hitting, I was kind of bummed that sports were gone. And then I kind of just picked up on it. I actually found it on Twitter. And then from there, started watching it, which then made me like, you know what, maybe I should join this. Sounds like fun.
Phenomenal. So what was the first game that you watched and how did it make you feel?
I think it was because I root for the Tulsa Desperados because I live close to Tulsa. And I think it was like a week 8 game or something. And I watched through it and I followed them for the rest of the season. And yeah, that's kind of, I think I'm pretty sure that's the first game I watched.
That is dope. Actually, Tulsa was my very first team that I was ever on. They gave me a chance at quarterback. I was supposed to be a wide receiver or either a defensive end. And Dion was like, hey, I really would like to see you as a quarterback. Would you mind doing that for me? I was like, oh, sure. Why not? So Tulsa is a really great organization. Dion is a great owner. Very good people over there. Sanzo and well, I think Sanzo retired now, but Corey Jones, all of those guys are amazing. So what was it? So was it just the COVID that kind of made you join, or the fact that you saw the camaraderie in the Discord, or what made you actually decide to join the league?
It was kind of because I heard about like the slogan is like, we put the fan in fantasy, and I've always been interested in like the fantasy sports and just the idea of being able to have a player out there on the field. And I just thought that was an amazing idea. So I had to hop onto it.
I'm glad you did. So how easy was the process, or how difficult was the process from you going through the Discord, going from the website to the Discord, actually being added to a team's locker room?
It was pretty simple because first I contacted the commissioner and asked how everything works and how to get onto it. And after I subscribed into the sublog, and then I started going to the player openings. And then from there, it was like maybe a day or two, and I was already assigned to a team and already been kind of accepted into that community within like a day or two of joining. This is a pretty easy progress.
Awesome. So with that, when you first found out that you were going to be on the Lexington Miners, how was that? What is the locker room like?
The locker room is very, very relaxed. It's chill. Everyone in there is very accepting and nice. And it was exciting because I don't know what it is, but I like being on underdog type teams. Like, I don't like always being on the best. I think being able to progress up and be on a team that's fighting for a spot in the playoffs, I enjoyed. So I was pretty excited to be on the Miners.
I think that's interesting because I think you fare well in the majors because you know how to handle the adversity that comes with not winning or missing those games and those opportunities and things like that. Because it will happen. Ref 62 will not call some plays that I swear that's clear as day, and you got to be able to deal with that. So that's good. Now your individual player, did you want to be a cornerback, or was that the only position that was available for you?
Well, actually, I'm a fullback.
I'm sorry, fullback. I keep saying cornerback. Fullback, my apologies.
But yes, because I wanted to play offense. Like, I really wanted to be able to score or help be able to put points up on the board. Mm-hmm. And all the tight ends, wide receivers, quarterbacks, everything was already taken. And I saw there was only one fullback spot left. So I just thought, like, that's the position. I got to take it.
Absolutely. Fullback is actually a very important position.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're a quarterback looking for options and your wide receivers are jammed up, your your running back is, I don't know where he is. So I got to find somebody that's going to be able to get through those lanes or even create a lane for the running back. So you're very important.
That was the case. That was the case versus Salt Lake City.
See? And when you utilize properly, you can go far. Speaking of that, are you responsible for your own progressions, or are you working with the coaches, or how is that working up there?
I'm working with the coaches right now because since I joined so late in the season, they kind of have me on like this little program to where they're letting me know every single week what I should be putting in since it's so late already in the season.
Gotcha. Now, if someone wanted to want to draft you for a running back position or a different position other than fullback, would you be willing to accept that offer, or do you want to be a fullback?
Absolutely be able to accept the offer because no matter what position, winning is winning.
Indeed. Tell me, do you want to explore the league in any other aspect? I know that you like stats, so we can join a stats team or maybe do some writing or even do a broadcast team.
I've always been, when I very first started watching it, I thought the broadcasting was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to be able to do play-by-play kind of interested me.
Okay. See, all you have to talk to, I can point you in the right direction wherever you want to go. That'll definitely.
Awesome.
They're looking for people right now, so that'll be dope. So what are your expectations from the team that will ultimately draft you?
Can you go into more depth with the question? I'm confused.
Absolutely.
On the question.
No problem. So as a player coming into a locker room, what do you expect for your owner, your GM, your teammates? What do you expect from them? Do you expect for them to be a locker room that is highly active? Do you expect for the owner to always keep in contact with you? Like, what are your expectations?
I just expect them to be able to just, use me when needed, be able to be more contact with me and just kind of just be overall relaxed, like nothing too serious, if that makes any sense.
It does. What kind of locker room presence or what type of personality will you be bringing to someone's locker room?
Probably like the hype man type, like especially after a win, I like to be able to get the team pumped up, and even after a loss, like, just don't be too bummed out about it. Just keep moving on and be prepared for the next week.
Awesome. So is that how you handle adversity in your real life? Like when things come or don't work out your way, like how do you respond to that?
I try not to let it control my life. If something bad happens, it's always good to rebound off of that and try to make something good out of it.
Indeed. So what are your overall thoughts on Lexington as a whole this season?
I think we're a pretty strong team. There are some weak points that we need to work on, but overall, like in the locker room, management, and just the team overall, I think we're a pretty solid team, and we have a decent chance here in the finals.
Indeed you do. And name one goal that you would like to set for in SFL and in real life to have accomplished by this time next year.
For the SFL, I would like to be drafted within one of the upcoming drafts.
Okay.
And hopefully get my name out there. And probably in real life, probably get through college and get a scholarship for broadcasting.
Indeed. Well, I tell you what, we have the practice for you right now. I promise you.
Awesome.
So one more question for you. So the draft, it will be coming up very soon. What are your thoughts on it? Are you excited, or what are you most looking forward to?
I'm very excited for the draft. I'm hoping, because like I said, I've only came in very late, so I haven't been able to get my name out there. Like Salt Lake City was the most I've actually been able to contribute and play a lot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, so I can always get picked up by a team, and I mean, I'm not expecting too much since it's only my first season. I've only got to play 3 weeks, so if I do get picked up by a team, it's like I'm going to be excited, and if I don't, then I can just stay with the Miners and hopefully build up my character.
Exactly. That's one thing I always wanted to let you guys know as rookies, that even if you don't get picked up, it's not the end of the world. You can go back to the minors. And when you're in the majors, you progress slower than you do in the minors. In the minors, you're able to progress every week and actually make those real changes. Once you hit those silver and gold tiers in the majors, you don't like, I only progress really, I'm a gold player, so I'm only progressing, like actually putting in something in there, probably like maybe 4 times in the season, maybe. So right now you're at a pivotal point in your career to build it up, the foundation first. So think of it like an ice cream cone, right? Or an ice cream sundae. So you have that beautiful ice cream at the bottom. That's your foundation. That's the best part, you know? Then you have the toppings, which are your animations. Always focus on your attributes, the base first. Get that up to par to where it needs to be. Then you put your toppings on. Then you make it fun. Because if you try to put the toppings on first, you know that it's gonna be good, but I got a bowl of chocolate with no ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good. That's probably the best way I can kind of put that there.
Oh yeah, I understood it.
Awesome. Well, this was great. I know you're a busy fella, you know, I'm a teenager and everything has things to do. So it's kind of why we were going through it a little bit fast. But do you have any questions for me?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, if you think of any later on, I'm here for you. I wish you the best of luck in the playoffs. It's going to be a very exciting time for you. And just to be able to have the chance to walk out with a ring and go into the draft with wearing a ring is going to be amazing. So.
Oh yeah, it's going to be exciting.
So I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out. But right now, Scott, the floor is yours.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to my coach, Ethan, for actually giving me the opportunity to be able to get onto the team. And he promised me before the end of the season, he was going to give me some touches and actually, you know, give me the ball a couple of times. And he fulfilled that offer, and it helped bring us to a team win. So yeah, shout out to my coach and shout out to the team.
Any touchdowns yet?
Nope, not yet.
Nah, you will.
In the future though.
Absolutely. And then you have Ethan Kai. Ethan Kai over there as your coach and as your guide too. Yeah, he's really good. So you're in good hands.
Oh yeah.
All right. Nice meeting you. Can't wait to see what you do on the field coming up and see where you go in the draft.
Can't wait.
All right. Have a good one though.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and to end things off, I have with me Mr. Stewart Zomelia. He is the cornerback for the Annapolis Navigators. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. It's a pleasure to meet you finally, because I see what you do on the field.
Yes, and I do apologize for the dog barking in the background.
Oh, no, you don't know. I've had dogs, I've had birds, I've had babies, I've had everything on the show, so that does not matter. All right. Tell the little one I said hi.
She says hi.
All right, so let's get started. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your name? If you can give us your real name, that's fine. Your age, your hometown, and some interesting facts about yourself and your favorite NFL team.
Yeah. So my real name is actually Paul Stewart. My character name is Stewart Zomelia. He is named after my twin girls that were just born 6 months ago. So Zoe and Amelia. So I kind of combined both of them. Stewart Zomelia. I'm 36. I'm from Rochester, New Hampshire. It is nice and 10 degrees outside right now, and I'm drinking my nice iced coffee. My favorite football team, ironically, is the Dallas Cowboys, which everyone's like, "Oh, you're from New England. You don't like the Patriots?" No, I'm not a Patriots fan at all. I don't like them.
I mean, I actually commend you for that, but you know,
never have, never will. I now like Tom Brady now that he's not on the Patriots. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Outside of the SFL, I really enjoy hanging out with my family and actually playing a lot of sports off the field as well. I do a lot of softball. I do a lot of disc golf because what else is there to do in the woods? So.
axe throwing.
Axe throwing, exactly.
Okay, nice. Now you did allude that you played sports before. So did you ever play football before, or just?
I have. I grew up playing football. I started playing football when I was 8 years old. I played it all the way through my senior year of high school. Ironically, I actually killed off my senior football team because of getting 2 Fs in one semester. So I couldn't play football my senior year, which sucked. But I then continued to play flag football growing up. And I've actually haven't played football since because I tore my ACL twice. So it's the only thing my wife's asked me not to do is play football again. So I kind of have to respect that.
I mean, well, if you didn't tore your ACL twice, you probably it gets harder to heal the older we get.
It is.
So, I get it. So what position were you playing?
In high school, I played running back and I also played corner. So that's what led me to want to play cornerback in the SFL, is because that's what I did when I was in high school. I was a shorter corner. I'm only 5'5", so I had a lot to had a hard time playing corner, but I still made the plays. So
that's what matters. You still make plays, you know. So you're probably the perfect height for the running back position that you're at too, huh? I was a pretty good running back in high school. Wasn't the best, but I wasn't terrible. I actually got injured playing running back my freshman year, and that's when they moved me to defense. So. Okay, gotcha. Tell me, how did you find the SFL?
Jeff Gagne. Jeff Gagne is actually my in-life best friend. So he lives like 10 minutes from me. He's been in the SFL for a long time, and he's always talked about it. I'm like, hey, you gotta get me into this. And finally last year, he's like, hey, they're looking to add people, so here you go. And I joined, and here I am.
Okay, all right. So do you remember the very first game that you watched and how you felt?
Yes, May 30th was my first game, and the reason I remember that is because it was the day before my twins were born. It was my first game was the night that before my twins were born. I watched my first game, and I was super pumped. I had talked like a couple weeks up to that because my first week with the SFL, Birmingham actually had a bye week, so I got to know the people in the locker room first, and then coming into the first game, I was like, oh yes, I'm amped. So me and my wife are upstairs, we're in bed. I have my iPad in front of me, and she's watching the Hunger Games, and I'm watching the SFL, and it was really cool. It was really cool, like kind of eyeing on your player and seeing how he's doing. And I think I had a couple tackles that game, and I was super amped. And then the next morning, my wife's like, "Hey, we gotta go to the hospital."
Well, congratulations on your 2 twins. I know that they're probably a handful.
They can be, but it's rewarding, and I love them. So.
Exactly. You will never love anybody as much as you love your children, I swear. Tell me, why ultimately did you decide to join? Was it just the fact that you just love esports, or was it because you just wanted to have a nice hobby?
Yeah. So actually, my first introduction to esports was the Simulation Race League. And I did that for a season or 2. And like I said, I've always talked to Jeff about him doing the race league. I've always talked to him about doing the football league, and he wanted to introduce me to the race league first because it's not as much of a commitment as the SFL. Mm-hmm. I did well in the race league, so he's like, hey, I think you'd really enjoy the SFL. Take a look at it and try. So I was like, all right. And he explained to me, like, you have to be active on the boards and in the locker room. And I say, all right, cool. And then eventually it led to me really enjoying it. It gave me, when my twins were first born, it really kind of gave me not an outlet per se, because I can't really go out and do much. So going to the SFL, I was able to chat with people that I'd never, obviously never met, but really getting to know through the boards. And it's really given me another hobby to really enjoy. My wife kind of makes fun of me for it a little bit, because I don't have a lot of geekiness to me, so this is kind of like my nerdiness side of me. So
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's
Exactly.
something that keeps you in the house and keeps you busy, in
Exactly.
the house. So I definitely get it.
something I can do with the girls in my hand too. So
See, that's both worlds, right? Now, what are your thoughts on the Annapolis Navigators season so far and your players' performance so far?
Yes.
You guys were undefeated for a while until
we were undefeated for a very long time, and I'll be honest with you, playing for Annapolis has been so much fun this year. Coming from Birmingham Fuel last year, which we had a lot of fun last year, but we won one game. So coming from the Birmingham Fuel, and most of us transferred to Annapolis because Birmingham closed the doors. Coach instantly jumping in saying, "Hey, I'm going to take care of you guys. This is my team. I've been doing this for a while, and I got you." And we're like, "All right, cool. We trust you." And getting to know all the players on the team, King Richard, Meerkat, Darby, Gene. It's just getting to know everybody has been awesome. The locker room has been fantastic. We've had a couple tragedies in our locker room this year, and we've kind of rallied around each other and picked each other up and made sure everyone was okay. If they needed anything, we reached out to them personally, off the locker room chat, in private messaging. So it's been a really cool experience being part of this Annapolis team.
Indeed. And I totally understand that. The one thing I do like about this community, especially when someone is going through difficult times and losing someone, things like that, people will come together and make sure that you're okay. And that's one thing that you probably won't ever find in any other esports, usually on the internet, period. You have a lot of trolls, you have a lot of people that are just mean-spirited and things like that and don't care. But when you find a place like this where not just one or two people care, like you have a whole community
that cares. Absolutely.
Right. And that means a lot, besides the support that your family gives. And then when you go and you have your brothers and sisters here that do the exact same thing, it makes for a better experience. So
it's so cool getting to know, like I said, Mr. Squarebush and our coach, Griffin King Storm. Like, it's just there's no other community online. There's no, like, you might not even find that outside of the SFL. People are vicious in real life sometimes too. So it's just like getting to know these people and knowing that they have your back, even though they've never met you, is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And to realize that you may not have met these people otherwise.
Yes.
Like last week I had my show from around the world, going to Canada and France and Italy and
cool.
Stuff like that. Right. And it's so cool that this community actually encompasses everyone, not just the States, everywhere. So it's awesome. So do you plan on participating in the league in any other aspect besides being a player?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Actually, I've had some interest in learning how to do some stats. I've had some interest in learning how to scouting. I also, in my community, up until this past year, because of COVID, we couldn't really get sponsorships. I was actually on the radio. I was doing play-by-play for a local high school football team. I did that for about 5 years. I started doing color commentary, and then I did play-by-play. And unfortunately, we couldn't really do it this year because sponsorships are down because of COVID. So we couldn't really get the money to sponsor us. But getting into the broadcast booth might be something I might be interested in as well. So.
And Dax is looking for people right now. Lopez is looking for statisticians right now. So definitely, if you have a passion or a love for it, or even if you just want to kind of hone in on your skills, this is the place to definitely get involved with that.
Absolutely.
So what are your expectations from a team that will eventually draft you?
That's a great question. I was trying to think about that last night, and really, I have such low expectations. I really just want to be part of a team that's gonna accept me and be part of a team that's win or lose gonna be there for each other. I don't want cutthroat people. I don't want people that are gonna blame others. And I just don't want a kind of like a hostile locker room, a toxic environment. I mean, you get that everywhere else, and I've not yet seen that in the SFL yet, and I don't want to see that in the SFL. So I'm for any team that is looking to draft me, just know that you're gonna get someone that's gonna be very upbeat in a locker room, very positive, win or lose, and that's kind of the expectation I expect, is to have some respect and fun, whether we are blowing teams out or losing by one. It's all about having fun. So,
and it's interesting because I feel as though that you handled adversity very well, because like you mentioned, you came from Birmingham, which only won one game, and I was really hoping y'all was going to win at least one game last season. So you did that, and then you went to a team that went undefeated for a long time and only had one loss. So it seems like you're pretty much primed for anything, which leads me to my next question, which you kind of alluded to already, is what type of personality will you be bringing to someone's locker room besides what you've already spoken about?
Yeah, I mean, besides being positive and outgoing, I mean, the type of personality that I'm most likely going to bring, I'm a very competitive person. So I do like to win. I do like to pick people up, and if I see someone is getting down or we're not, or if we go on a losing streak, I'm going to be that person that's going to be like, hey, we got this. There's no doubt. I mean, there's no other better team than us. So I'm very competitive. So I want to get out there and show that we can win, or we can compete. So I'll bring a little bit of competition to the locker room. So
okay,
I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna get 2 picks. How about you get 3? So
okay, that sounds good. If someone wanted to pick you up at another position, like strong safety, would you be willing to switch positions, or are you just locked in on that cornerback position?
I'm 100% willing to switch positions. If a team needs me, I'm very team player. So if a team needs me to switch to strong safety, absolutely, I would definitely switch to strong safety.
All right then. And so with your progressions, are you solely doing your progressions on your own, or are you taking advices from the coaches, or is it kind of like a collaboration of the two?
So I connected with our coaches earlier in the season to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And they told me you could do this, or this is what else we expect, or what we would like to see. So it's kind of a combination. I really wanted to get ball hawk as my animation in the 4th week. So I worked up to get that. And then since then, I've been kind of working to improve that skill. But I also know that there's some stuff that they want me to improve. That this last week, I'm going to be progressing with one thing that they wanted me to progress. And then I do take a lot of advice from coaches. So obviously, on any team that I'm on, I'm going to consult the coach to see what they need, what they want, and we'll work together. So.
Okay, is there a certain attribute? Okay, so I heard that you added the animation, which is cool. Was that the animation? So I always like to think about attributes and animations like this. I alluded to with my last interviewee. It's almost like having an ice cream sundae, right? So you have this big, beautiful bowl of your favorite ice cream, creamy, cool, one of your best, the base, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that's your attributes. And then when you're making it a sundae, the toppings are going to be your animation. So it's very important when you're creating your player, when you are progressing your player, that you try to make that base, that foundation, as delicious or as strong as possible. So when you do add your toppings or your animations, that it'll just further enhance it. Because if you start off with
ice cream that's lackluster or that is not very good, you can add the toppings all day, but you're still gonna have that underlining ice cream that's just not good. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That absolutely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So just something for everybody to think about when they're, adding the attributes. I mean, when they're adding the animations and things like that, because it'll definitely make a difference on the field.
It does, and I've noticed since with Birmingham and through the off season, I was progressing a lot of my base, like you said, a lot of the base attributes, and it got to the point where I could have continued to build on that. I could have added more tackle if I wanted to or whatnot, but I saw an opportunity where I could add that animation to help me better on the field. And since adding that animation, I think I've had 3 or 4 picks. And it's really stepped my game up. So now I think the next thing I'm going to be working on is my tackle. My tackle is pretty low. I need to get that improved. So that's going to be definitely the next step for Stewart, is to improve on his tackle.
And when you see their player doing well on the field, then when you added those animations that particular those attributes that were, I guess, work along with those animations, they will improve. Just like you say, now you got your picks, and did you have any when you were on Birmingham?
I didn't.
See, so it definitely can work out as long as that base is good. So awesome! I'm glad things are working out for you. How excited are you about the draft coming up?
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. December 30th can't come soon enough. I'm pumped. I watched last year's draft. I knew I wasn't going to get drafted, but I'm like, there's a sliver of hope. But I was so new that I'm like, I might. I have a good presence online. I might. And I did talk to a few teams, but I've had a lot of chatter this year, and my players really improved. So I'm super excited. I'm excited to join the big leagues, the big boys and girls, if you will, and I'm excited for it. So
awesome! I can't wait to see where you guys land. It's going to be amazing. Last question for you: what is one SFL goal that you'd like to see accomplished by next season? By next year, I should say, this time next year. And then, what is one real life goal that you would like to see accomplished by next year?
Yeah, so I mean, real life goal, honestly, and it sounds kind of cliche, but it's really to watch my girls improve, and grow, be like the best dad, be there in person. Like I know a lot of parents that are just kind of like, okay, I'm a dad, but then they go run off and do everything else, and they're just not in person. I want to be there for my girls. I want to watch I don't want to miss things. So that's really my biggest goal right now in my life, is to kind of see everything with them. SFL goal, I want to learn more of the not the front office stuff, if you will, but more of the front office stuff. I want to do more, learn the stats. I want to learn broadcast, and I want to have more of a presence in the league than I do now. I try to be as active as I can. Obviously, I've been kind of busy with the girls, so I do jump on, say hi, do have some conversations here and there. I talk more. I've been talking more in my locker room than the general chat at this point, just because it's easier. But I do want to have more of a presence in the league than I do now. So that's really my long-term SFL goal. So
okay, and I'm sure that you will accomplish that, especially when you get involved more like on the stats and broadcast side of things. And I know that when they see that you're interested in this, though, especially Dax, he's probably going to be hitting you up as soon as he watches this. So just be prepared for that.
Perfect.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you and be able to talk to you and kind of get to know you. And I'm looking forward to see where you all go in the draft. And remember, if you are not drafted, just don't be discouraged.
Absolutely.
Just go back and then further improve your player, and you'll be like a Randy Squarebush. You just can't.
That guy's a beast. There's no better running back in my opinion than Randy Squarebush. So, but I'm a little biased. He's on my team. So.
Yes, yeah, and it's interesting to see where everybody goes.
Yes.
And I just wish you the best of luck in these games.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Best of luck in life. I did see your wife walking upstairs. I was hoping that she was going to stop and just say hi.
The girls were crying. She was running up there to give them a bottle. So.
Yes. Oh, two of them at the same time. Good luck, y'all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, but I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out. But right now, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I wanted to just honestly thank Annapolis. Honestly, it's cliche, but my team has just been awesome, and without the leadership of our coach and our owners and management and just everyone, I just know that we're going to prevail in the playoffs, and you're not gonna see that our loss last week is going to carry on in the playoffs. We're gonna make some noise, so just be ready for that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and it will be amazing if you walk away with that ring, be able to walk into the draft with, just look what I got. I gotta pass this up. But pleasure to meet you. You're definitely welcome to come back whenever you like to. Got some announcements you want to make, even after the draft. Once you're there, on your new team, things like that, come back and share your experience with us.
Will do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, and that is it. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate y'all taking time out to spend with me. I wish all of you a happy holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. If you don't celebrate anything, I hope you have a wonderful day with your family, your friends. Relax, enjoy this time away from work. Whatever you got going on, just hope everything is be good for you, and I hope that you have a wonderful new year as well. Special shout out and thanks goes out to LaQuan Smith, Charlie Baker, Stewart Zomelia, and Scott Powell for being on the show. Really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. For LaQuan, Charlie, Stewart, Scott, Striker out. Again, happy holidays.